Hey y'all, welcome to another installment of White Lives Matter. You get struck. A lot has happened since the last installment. There has been Trump's outrageously disrespectful response to a Jewish interviewer at a press conference. There has been outrage over trans rights. The bathroom thing is back into being a headlining issue. Women's rights. People have really shown that the people that we put in charge have shown that they don't have any respect for women. A politician has even called women a receptacle or a carrier or something like that. It had something. It was a very medical term that involved disease. Like the woman is the host. Like just totally dehumanizing women's lives. Or people that get pregnant, more or less, because trans men also get pregnant, and non-binary people also get pregnant. There's just been a lot of disrespect to go around, and I didn't do videos on those things when they happened because of things going on at that time in my personal life, but that's over now. So this is why I encourage destroying white, male, heterosexual, cisgender spaces, because people insist on destroying, these same people insist on destroying everyone else's spaces. And it's such a tangled web at this point. I mean, and then at the same time, it's not that tangled. It's very linear. You can go in any place and a white man can feel like he is welcome there, no matter what that place is, whether that place is reserved for people of color, that place is reserved for women, that place is reserved for anyone but them, but they are somehow welcome there, be they the security, be they the police, be they the administrators, to talk about more capitalist representation. Even with white gay men, they are usually the ones that are able to fund a lot of spaces. That's why a lot of queer centers are the way that they are, because there's not a lot of diversity in the market. A lot of the nonprofits that have come and gone, especially during the marriage legalization thing, a lot of those had, even if they weren't run by white men, they had a lot of white male representation. And it's not so much about being gay anymore. It's about the ongoing battle between trans and cis, rather than gay, straight, and everybody else, basically. And this whole, I mean, there's just so much going on with Trump. There's the thing with Russia, where they've apparently confirmed that Russia had something to do with the election. But everyone insists that it's about Trump, and Trump didn't win the popular vote. He won the Electoral College because people voted Republican for Senate and House, and that's where a lot of our problems are going to come from. It's going to come from Senate and House. I mean, not to disregard anything that comes from Trump, but he's there because of that. And people are really still overlooking that. And even though Hillary did win the popular vote, what would she have done being faced against all these Republicans? Like, things have to go in a direction. Regardless of what that direction is, things have to go that way. And before we can get to no more presidents, we have to get to so many other, we have to dismantle the system. We can't just tear it down with one foul swoop, because the system is that we're trying to get rid of is been like engraved and planted over hundreds of years. I would say hundreds, because like it's not just the American system, it's the way the American system formed and where its influences came from. Like, this is a really older system than we're looking at it as, that has taken a lot of different turns because we are still a very new country. And I really feel like it is not uneducated, but it's really, it's unproductive to think that just because you have an idea, everyone should follow up with it, and we should all lead to anarchism because that's what you want, when that may not be the best system to run, and to try to get billions of people all in on all at once. There has to be an exception of incrementalism, and there has to be a system to basically corral all these people. Like, I can see anarchism working for less than 1,000 people, maybe less than a few tens of thousands of people, but all these people, I'm really starting to change my mind and my views about a few things. Like, it's much less about me and much more about what's going on around me. We would still have to have a structured education system. We would still have to have a structured incentive system, including reward and punishment, to keep people from hurting each other. And our healthcare system, we would definitely have to think about that. And I feel like there are people taking initiative to do something about the way our healthcare runs. With people like, there's a dentist organization. A small group of dentists travel the country and give dental care for free to places that lack health care. And I've been to their clinic a few years ago while I was still in Shreveport. And people taking that kind of initiative is more of what we need at this point. People willing to go out and put themselves out on the line and say, I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm doing this with my time, and being able to sacrifice their time for a cause. I'm not talking about like that run-of-the-mill volunteer work like you're going to do at the thrift store or the hospital. I'm talking about going out and basically doing what they do. Now, I know that's oversimplified and it's also super specific, but that's where these mindsets and ideas come from. And it's oversimplified and super specific in explanation, but you can really do anything that you want with it. It's a thing called a collective. You can have a collective for abortion care. You can have a collective for dental care. We have collectives for dental care. You can have collectives for food. I'm sitting in a collective for food. There are ways we can save the world, and we really have to commit ourselves to them. But we have to also take a good chunk of ourselves out of it to be able to commit to it. And that makes a really thin line between what you want to do being right and yourself. Because you also always need to make time for yourself. Because there's no point in going crazy. There really isn't. You don't want to spend all of your good years in one spot just to be able to retire when you get old, and you probably won't even have that when we get old. So take care of yourself now. Do everything you need to do for yourself now. We also need to learn that there's a line between ourselves, our cause, and this other thing that we are taught that is an omnipresent threat of something. Like that false sense of security that they try to force into our heads with capitalism. If you have money, you have a place to stay, and you have a job, and your life will be great. There are plenty of people with money, jobs, and places to stay, and their lives are not great. We obviously see that in various places in Louisiana, Flint, some places in California now, Ferguson, Cleveland, Philadelphia, plenty of places. Plenty of people have money, a place to stay, and their lives are shit because the people that govern them, whether they put them in place or whether they were chosen by the people that put them in place or whether they snuck into place, are not taking care of the overall needs. The fact that we have leaders that are willing to call women incubators and receptacles and hosts and people that are willing to take away people's right to use the restroom publicly, that's ridiculous. But all these things are connected back to us. People have to take responsibility for themselves, and sometimes you even do have to take the responsibility for the actions of others. And it's not in the way of when someone tells you that they've been abused to say not all men are like that. That's not the kind of responsibility I'm talking about, because that's toxic masculinity, where you feel like there has to be a brotherhood between you and the person that has wronged someone else for no reason. But if we can have this kind of mentality towards that, why can't we have this kind of mentality towards healthcare, towards dental care, towards food, people's access to food, people's access to housing and utilities? Why can't we have that not all homeless people? Why can't we have that not all women? Why can't we have that not all black people? All these labels that we give each other, why can't we have a humanizing attitude towards people that haven't necessarily wronged anyone, and not feeling like we need to defend them because they've done something wrong, but to defend them because they need to be defended just for living. So that's all I have to say. I know this is very impromptu, obviously, but I just wanted to get that out there and also update the White Lives Matter list. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves and each other, and crush white men. Bye.